Welcome to Elevating Job Quality, a podcast from the Aspen Institute's Economic Opportunities Program. Today, we're taking you inside a dialogue from the Shared Success Project, exploring how CDFIs, or Community Development Financial Institutions, can help their small business clients create good jobs so that workers, business owners, and local economies all thrive. Coming up, a conversation on how to talk about job quality with small businesses. Lauren Starks, Director of Good Companies, Good Jobs at the Aspen Institute's Economic Opportunities Program, speaks with Tabine Tengelu Misukamba, Program Developer with Workforce Solutions, Coastal Enterprises, Inc., Dion Griffin-McGee, Consultant at the Institute Capital, and Israel Flores, Business Services Director for Northern Initiatives.
Welcome, Tabin, Israel, and Dion, to our series of conversations on elevating job quality among small businesses. Through our work with Shared Success, we've been deepening an understanding of how each of your organizations approaches job quality work, and in particular, how you're communicating with small businesses about the importance of job quality. Let's start with you, Tabin. Thank you for being here. Can you tell us about your work at CEI and how you are broadening conversations with small businesses about job quality?
Thank you, Lauren, for the opportunity and the time that you give to us to discuss this important topic. At CEI, we help businesses create good jobs, job quality. And when they come to us, we ask them to invest back in their communities by hiring folks who face barrier to employment. Specifically, we focus on people who have a high school diploma or less. And we have a variety of businesses that comes to CEI. Some businesses, they are just startups. They don't have employees. Some others, they do. And for those who don't have employees, we need to help them literally with everything. In terms of job quality, we support them with creating job description, for example. We do help them also to create job posting, which is different from the job descriptions. And among other things that we help them with is the development of some policies, because when we see job quality or good jobs, we see businesses that can pay the living wage. We see the businesses that can provide pay time off, retirement savings, and so on. So businesses that don't have these things in place, we advise them, but also help them to create, as I said, policies. All of these, they are human resources practices related, and we are so happy that many have been listening to us and doing good things. Amen.
Those are wonderful insights, and the way you describe how job quality is really woven into these conversations, whether it's HR or business operations or many different aspects of the work. That's really key. Can you also share more about the connection you see between job quality and how businesses can advance bottom line outcomes?
Oh, yeah. So job quality has so many benefits for businesses. First, it's just not the moral obligation for businesses to do the right thing for the employees, but also it's a smart business strategy. I strongly believe. Why? Because businesses that provide job quality to the employees, we've seen that employees are more engaged. They are motivated. There is retention there, and because they've provided better working conditions, they've provided to them with the living wage, pay, and all of these lead to the business seeing the financial benefit in terms of cash flow, in terms of the customers being, engaged and well served by employees who are motivated, engaged, and ready to help and to help the business grow.
So you're lifting up that communicating about job quality in a broad way is really an impact multiplier. It expands the conversation around what kind of outcomes these businesses can have.
Exactly, exactly. Business have seen a really good profit margin when they, because this is what we want them to see, is that investing in your employees is not a cost. It's not a cost. It's when you pay for the training, they get skills. When you pay them well, when they feel like they are valued, respected, as a result, it's in the wallet. Businesses will see that.
Thank you, Taben.
You're welcome.
Israel, staying with this theme of having this holistic and expanding conversation around what job quality can do to improve business outcomes and also improve opportunities for workers and the communities that they're in. Can you tell us about your work at Northern Initiatives and how you all approach job quality in conversations with small businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I am the business services director for Northern Initiatives. So I am the person who oversees all the coaches. So when we deliver this job quality piece, first of all, I think one of the things in order for us to be successful delivering the job quality advice is that we embrace that internally. So that's one of those things that when we take this on and we continue having these conversations with management saying like, this is, job quality is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, regardless of the demonstration, of course, right? And when we get to that point, because we see the value, right? We see the value in how everything, like the job quality piece help not just businesses, employees, but also the economy. I don't think many people think of that. Like people don't think of the economy. It's like it helps the economy, and especially in those local places where, small businesses, like they, probably it will be the same in multiple, many places. Small businesses, they are not in downtown, for example, because it's so expensive to be in downtown, right? But they have those businesses in neighborhoods where, it's a lot of people around. When if they create, like a really good job quality piece or jobs, right, for their neighbors, for the people, for their community, people start just going more into it. So one of the things that we do, our coaches, let me just back up a little bit about the whole process of NI and how we integrate job quality. So we have multiple tools, right? Some of the tools that we have, we use a business strength score, where it determines, when we take a look at the business strength score, like how the businesses are doing, meaning, financially, what systems they use and all of that. Yes. So we modify that now with the business, with the job quality piece, right? Like, so how many employees do you have? Did they, do you pay minimum wage? Although I know that it's the law to pay minimum wage, but we ask that question because you never know. And in reality, many business owners, they don't know. Like, they don't know what's job quality. Like they don't know if they can afford probably to pay a little bit more or provide some other benefits or services to their employees. So we adjust all our tools to make sure that we are delivering the job quality work to all the small businesses.
That's really excellent insights, and your point about small businesses as engines of opportunity in local economies is really important, and sounds like it's resonating with the businesses you're working with.
Absolutely.
Dion, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. This
Good.
is a great conversation.
It is.
Tell us about your work at ICAP and how you all approach job quality.
So first and foremost, thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. I will work at ICAP, and I'll speak a little bit to the Institute overall, right? And so at the end of the day, the Institute as a body really focuses on policy, education, economic development, regardless of race, creed, and color, right? And so at the end of the day, when we talk about ICAP providing funding for these business owners that are really trying to stimulate the economy, that looks like a different strategy, a different mindset of what one could get from a conglomerate. A lot of folks are not prepared for funding or lending when we talk about putting that business plan together, as we've spoken about before, right? It's intimidating. But if you can work with an organization that's right in your local community that understands who you are, what the fabric of your business and what you're really trying to get to, makes you put your shoulders down and not so stressed out about what funding can really look like, right? So ICAP's focus is to help those that are in the community surrounding areas that are really trying to fund businesses to get them to where they're supposed to be and cut that red tape. Because there are so many barriers in place when we talk about, loans and lending, and some folks just aren't prepared. But ICAP speaks to the person as an individual and to see where their business is really growing and trying to get to help them from a financial standpoint. A lot of people don't know that. They feel like they have to go to a conglomerate, a large organization or a funder to get funding that they need, and that's not necessarily true.
That is really insightful, and I want to shift to a part of this conversation that I know is coming up a lot, which is around engagement and building resources and tools and the different approaches that are used to reach small businesses with important content and information about job quality. Can you each talk a bit about your approach? And I know that there are different models. There's one-on-one guidance, there's online and self-paced engagements, and there's also peer learning groups.
Right.
So through the lens of your model, share with us what has been rising up as an effective practice or something you've seen break through in this conversation. Would you like to start?
Yes, thank you. We do provide advising to businesses. Basically, we do 101 of businesses because this approach is really effective. It's an opportunity for CEI and our portfolio businesses to develop that personal relationship with businesses. This is how we can build the trust so that advice that we give to them, they can trust and apply them. In addition to that, we've created a tremendous content for businesses. As I said before, when we do assessment of businesses, we try to figure out what they need in terms of workforce, in terms of employment. And we found out that some content are needed, right? Let's say if somebody just created a business and need to hire somebody, what comes to their mind, I need to hire how to create the job description or job posting or performance evaluation forms, all of that. We create those content for them. This is, they are good tools to use, but also we have online presence because on our website, on CI website, entrepreneurs can find information on how, let's say for those who are working in the childcare sector, we have tons of content. And the other day I was speaking with one entrepreneur. We held in a Zoom meeting, and that Zoom also was held from 7 p.m. to 7:45. Why? Because we were like, okay, we need to find entrepreneurs where they are. Why? Because they work hard, they don't have time during the day, but can we meet with them when they are free from their work? And at that time, I was speaking with one, she is a woman, and she was like, wow, the website has everything we need to create from start to finish when it comes to childcare. So we use the mix of content, but also we do in person and online. These are very good because people can use them when they have time, and this also help to empower them to not rely on us all the time because, as you know, across the nation, 60% of people who are working, they are employed by small businesses. So this just speaks to why this is important, and having online presence can reach so many people that we may not reach in person.
Thank you. And meeting businesses where they are, meeting entrepreneurs where they are in this work, such an important strategy and an authentic way to build resources that are going to reach people.
Exactly.
Israel.
Really similar. We call it blending learning, which is, we do the one-on-one, and also we have a portal called Initiate that actually, this is going to sound like a commercial kind of thing, but Initiate is a platform where, like we have it, some other CDFIs are using, so they have a license with us, and now I think right now it's out there for 35, maybe 33 states.
Very good.
Again, sorry, it wasn't a commercial or intended to be a commercial, but it sounds like a commercial. So yeah, we use the blending learning, which is the coaching one-on-one, and also the using the portal. Of course, we develop some tools and calculators, especially with this demonstration, the job quality piece. It's we are getting more intense on getting those resources, putting up there so our customers have the opportunity to take a look at them. And of course, I think he was just mentioning up which is absolutely true. The one-on-one, the relationship that we have to create with our customers is, of course, that's the best, the best way to engage with our community members and business owners, of course. And I think the only difference that we do here is that we are we call coaches. We don't call advisors. And we also choose the word coaches because we believe that, when we bring the resources to a business owner, we put everything on the table. We don't tell them what to do. Everything's on the table. They pick whatever they believe is best for their business. So we don't have to anything to do with you should be doing this and that, because they know their business better than we do. We are the experts, but in reality, they know much better, their business than us. So again, we just put stuff in the table and they pick whatever is best for them, and that's how we do some of this work.
You're highlighting that the work is very tailored, very customized. It's not one size fits all, right?
Absolutely.
And Ms. Dion.
Very similar to both. What I will say is when we design programs and cohorts and incubators, you have to think with the client in mind, right? And we are in a technical era, and we have to use technology. So to your point, it's absolutely necessary to make sure that we are using the internet, all of our Zooms and platforms of that nature, right? Because that way you can reach people at any time of the day, right? And if they are business owners and entrepreneurs, who has time to come and sit in a meeting for 2 or 3 hours? So we, to your point, we use the business advisory. And so we have different touch points. So one-on-one business advisory, because there are some things that you're just not going to say in a group of people, right? And so we have that session where we get to know you, build that relationship. As we say, you do business with folks you know, like, and trust. So the relationship is built in the beginning, right? We also use a learning management system platform. So the courses, the webinars are online where you can stop. You can take a quiz, you can take the notes and make sure you're properly digesting the information. You can go back and implement what it is that you learned. And then my favorite part of all of it is the business implementation plan. Like, what is it that you're really trying to implement in your business? We can suggest, as you say, Israel, from a coaching standpoint, these are, tips, tools, and strategies that will help you, but it's a la carte. What applies to where it is that you're really trying to go? We can implement some things, food for thought, that you may not have considered. Turn that light bulb on, if you will, and they have that aha moment. I'm sure you all have experienced that as well, right? And it's like, oh, I didn't think about that, right? But to really pull out of them where they're trying to go, for us to feed them access to resources, tools, techniques that they may not have thought about, and to write it out, right? And so we have our HR person that's also a part of that process to kind of help them and guide them and then direct them to some of these folks so they they may need an attorney to help them with contracts and things of that nature. What does that look like for you? So we have different touch points, but to be able to reach the masses, it has to be digital. Otherwise, we'll be, pulling ourselves just from one threshold. And this way, we can feed and reach multiple folks across the world with our platform and our logic and strategy.
Well, I am grateful that we have thoughtful leaders like you three in this work. The way you talk about empowering small businesses, the way you communicate, the way that your strategies are really pushing towards problem solving and solutions that are meeting the clients and communities that you work with where they are, and really creating a platform for these conversations to continue in a powerful way. Thank you for the important and valuable conversation today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
That was Tabine Tangele Mesukamba, Program Director with Workforce Solutions Coastal Enterprises, Inc., Dion McGee, Consultant at the Institute Capital, and Israel Flores, Business Services Director for Northern Initiatives, in conversation with Lauren Starks, Director of Good Companies, Good Jobs at the Economic Opportunities Program. If you enjoyed this episode of Elevating Job Quality, please subscribe or share this conversation with anyone you think would benefit from it. The Shared Success demonstration is managed by the Aspen Institute's Economic Opportunities Program and supported by a 4-year investment from the Gates Foundation. See as.pn/shared success to learn more. Views expressed here are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect positions or policies of the Foundation.